Caller, good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Good afternoon. How you doing, Claudius? Your guest came up with, I think, 3 words. Can she repeat those when you open up with her?
Yes. The 3. Do you mean the 3 blocks? The 3 blocks are guilt, anger, and lack of forgiveness. So you need to process those because otherwise it makes a block in your body.
You said guilt?
Guilt, anger, and lack of forgiveness. Now, this could be forgiveness of yourself.
Okay.
You know, some people, they get quite sick because they can't forgive themselves. And so you need to forgive yourself. If it's a perpetrator who's done something to you, there are tricks because you might say, I can't ever forgive them.
Okay.
But you can.
Okay, well, thanks a lot.
You can. If you imagine them sitting in a chair and they can't speak to you, they just have to listen to you. And you say to them all the things that they did and all the how it affected your life and all your guilt and your anger and all this, and you say this to them, imagine them sitting in a chair. And then after you said all of that, I want you to let it go and just say, I forgive you and I set you free. Now, this is because they've had faulty programming. It might be the most awful thing they've done, but it's down to their faulty programming.
Is that easier said than done?
I think so too.
Well, yes, but if you can't do it 100%, what's your name?
Anthony.
Anthony. If you can't do it 100%, Anthony, you ask God or the source around you or whatever you believe in, can you please do the other bit for me? I can't find it in my heart to let this go completely. But if it's a perpetrator, it won't hurt them. It won't hurt them at all. It will only hurt you. And when you let it go, you feel lighter.
So you're talking about the complete physiology of a human being. All right?
Yes.
So then I am to understand there's something written in the Bible that talks about be renewed by be transformed by the renewing of your mind. So really this is true.
It is true. It is true. But that's your belief system. Somebody else may turn around to me and say, that I don't believe in that. So that's their belief system. So if they tried to use it, it wouldn't work for them. You have to go with what you believe will help you.
So how do the scenario you used earlier, talking about a child, somebody said that you are stupid and all that kind of stuff. We've been hearing it 3 or 4 times.
More than 3 or 4.
Right.
They heard it their whole life.
How do they overcome that?
Well, it's like spiders. Your mum's scared of spiders. She screams every time she sees a spider. You will be scared of spiders. So you have heard it. You've been hypnotized hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of times. The way to do it is you then have to say the opposite to yourself again and again and again. I'm not stupid. I've been studying. I am not stupid. I am not stupid. And you keep repeating it to yourself. So if you imagine it actually like a computer and you're redoing your hard drive.
So I'm very glad someone like you. Are you practicing in St. Lucia?
No, she's actually leaving her. I'm very fortunate
we need somebody like you down here.
I come back.
But one more last thing, Mr. Claudius. Can I just divert one little bit, Claudius?
Not for too long. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. Because it has to do with the same thing called the vaccine.
Yes.
Because what I'm saying is, what she's saying makes so much sense that a lot of people who are homophobic concerning the vaccine, they have that negative preconceived notion in their mind. And somebody said, look, go take it. And then somebody tell them, do not go and take it. And all of a sudden they're realizing, if they don't take it, they find themselves by governments and other forces that is mandatory to threatening their jobs. How do that chemical balance in their brains work out for them to really go and get that vaccine?
Well, you now have a different kind of fear. You have a fear of losing your job. If you lose your job, you think you might lose your livelihood. So how do you... Thanks a lot, Colin. So how do you deal with that?
Well, you have to process your anger. What's happening is that you're angry that you're being made to do something. And unfortunately, there's certain countries, including my own, we're now experiencing riots. And it's because people are not processing their anger. Now, this might be because of the pandemic. It may not even be because of the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they've got other issues that they haven't processed. And so now they're just letting it all out in this way. That's how they're processing their anger.
Okay.
But in a way, actually, they are getting rid of some of it, but it's not the best way, obviously.
Right. Because there are people, for example, in St. Lucia who still don't have potable water.
Right.
But they go to the river
Yes.
and they're arrested. But let's take a call. Good afternoon, thanks for calling.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Hi.
It's my lady. Your psychotherapeutic job, that is also a covering for people with psychophilosophical invention that would use to control the mind of somebody who's sane. Because how can you probably forgive the devil when you know the devil has done
Well, let
wrong?
me ask you a question. If you were right about what she is, how come you were able to say what you just said there? Clearly,
Well,
it didn't
you
work
see,
on you.
an independent thinker as opposed to somebody who says you're black.
That's
you're the
all she has
devil.
been.
White
That's
is
all she has
dangerous.
been propagating
I'm
today.
just letting you know that.
Hold on. All she has been propagating today is asking people to be independent thinkers. That's all
Yes.
she has been doing.
Yeah,
she
I
has not
understand,
asked
but
anybody
to
to take
forgive those
one
who did
side.
you wrong.
No.
Caller,
They have to
I
put
defy
justice
you.
themselves
No.
is
Let me tell you,
something
that's
of
my
an
show.
escape
Okay.
program.
All right, next caller.
No, I'll tell you.
If you're not going to give me a chance to respond to you, next caller.
May I just answer that?
Sure.
Because I know a lot of people are scared and they think they'll lose control. If they see someone like me, I will manipulate their mind, I'll make them rob the bank. It doesn't work.
But
If
Karen,
you
that's
don't
the whole
want to
point.
do it.
And I would let him speak
Yeah.
all day
No, right.
if he was going to say what you said.
But I can't.
But he's saying things you never said.
No.
There's not one time on this show so far have you said to people, you must take the vaccine.
No.
Or you must not take the vaccine.
No.
All you've been promoting is independent thinking.
Absolutely.
And clearly,
Yeah.
he is able not to be fooled by, according to him, fooled by you because he's an independent thinker. That's
Yeah.
all you're asking.
Yes.
But I would have allowed him to speak
Yes.
forever, but not allow him to malign you by saying something you did not say.
Thank you, Claudius.
No problem. 451-7260. I do listen to my guests very carefully as to what they say, so that if a caller were to challenge them, then that caller would be given the ability to expand and say, but when you start bringing all this devil philosophy, I mean, where do you get off calling her what she has put there, devil philosophy? She has never said the person who thinks differently to her
No.
is a devil. It's a debate. And may the best debater and the facts come out on top. That's what it is. So, 451-7260.
Yes,
Good
sir.
afternoon, thanks for calling. Hello? Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, sir.
Yes.
I'm saying I didn't call her a devil. I'm saying...
No, you were
what black
saying that
people
she
go
has...
through
No,
is
if you're going to
something
continue along those lines, I'll
trauma.
cut you off again.
Yeah.
She has never said anything about anybody. You accuse her of coming in effect to promote the taking of the vaccine and those. She has never said that.
No.
I never said that either. But what
Okay?
I'm saying is
so
that...
if you be very careful what you're saying, or I'll cut you off.
Yeah, don't be too defensive. Allow me to explain myself. I'm capable of doing so. I never call her a devil. I'm saying that...
No, you said
being
she's
black, for example,
propagating the
part of
devil
trauma
philosophy.
of you know,
Anyway, go ahead.
It is being black is part of the trauma that people will go through in this world of discrimination. So I'm saying that if somebody say you are mad or you are bad or you are bad and you have to say it contrary to deal with your mental health, being black is a major one that people go through. And the psychotherapy for that.
Okay, just to make it clear that I wasn't the one who cut him off this time. Huh?
Yeah, or me.
Neither was it Big Slim. It wasn't us.
No.
As much as I think what he was talking about is a whole bunch of mumbo. You see all this nonsense about this black thing. Anyway, let me leave that alone because that get me upset. Very upset. We keep putting this thing on ourselves as if we must never rise above the fray. Some of the greatest men in our society ever in history of black people, but we still keep putting ourselves down. But let me stop there because I don't want to get involved in it. Because anyway, so 451-7260 is the number to call, but I just want to make it very clear.
Mr. Claudius,
Yes, sir.
in conjunction with what you're saying, you just mentioned there, it's not that I want to go deep into it. It is like this kind of mentality that somebody would come up and with some things talking about we're still licking wounds. Always have this kind of talk and mentality like we're not rising above.
Well, you know what happened, for example, without cutting you short, I said to one person I was having a discussion with, but so many more white people are taking the vaccine than black people. So if it is an experimental drug that they want to kill us, aren't they going to be killing more whites than blacks?
Exactly.
You know what he told me?
I'm taking it.
You know what he says to me? Oh, you think they're taking the same thing that the black people take. Everything you say to them, there is this negative counter. All I can tell him is I ain't telling anybody, well, I'm telling people, I'm asking them to take the vaccine. I'm not going to force anybody. I took it.
Yeah, because you see, what bothers me concerning this kind of mentality is when they come up with these kind of talk, all of a sudden and there's about black people and this and that, and then all those who are talking about that, none of them are going back to Africa to solve the problems in Africa. You understand what I'm saying? Anybody out there who, the vaccine is a good thing. So anybody out there who having that negative thing in their mind should, listen to the professionals like your guests out there talking about what is bothering in their mind and see what's good and look within themselves. I'm sure they will be, when the chemicals balance and the physiology start begin to accept reality, they themselves will be able to say, well, you know what? I'm going forward because it's all about me for me. And that's how people should be looking at it.
As I told people, Stephen King, Dr. Stephen King is somebody I have known from the time I was 8 years old at the RC Boys Primary School. We did all our schooling together. I've known Stephen all my life. I trust Stephen.
Yeah.
Stephen said to me, Claudius, I took it, you go ahead. I didn't need a second prompting.
Yeah, people got to take the vaccine and say them taking it for
I
themselves.
think you're supposed to take it from professionals like you said. But thanks a million.
Take it for yourself and not nobody else.
Okay, buddy, thanks. There you go, Karen. We're at the end of the show. Final words from you?
Final words, yes.
See how quickly that passed.
Yes, it did. Yes, my final word would be about sleep, because I'm noticing that 80%, well, this is in the UK, I'm not sure here, but a lot of people can't sleep. If you find that you are in this area and you can't sleep, don't toss and turn in bed. Keep a notepad by you in the bed and just write down the things that you're thinking about. And you don't have to put grammar, you don't have to put punctuation, and then just put it aside and look at it again in the morning. As long as you don't really do it, because you'll go to prison. But just write down the things you're thinking of. In the morning, you can say, this person is a whatever. In the morning, you look at it and you put it in more perspective. It's what your mind can't process during the day. Your subconscious can't process it. So at night, it keeps you awake. So you write it all down, you look at it in the morning, and you will have a better perspective. Or you could get up and do something. You could do some ironing, or you could do... But another thing so important, I must stress, this is also to do with the pandemic. Too many devices. Don't use devices as a babysitter. Don't have devices all over the bedroom. Don't have television, a mobile, an iPad.
So how am I going to listen to Big Slim?
Well, you put him in another room. The bed is for sleeping and sex. That's it.
Oh, well,
no eating.
I think Big Slim can relate to that.
Can you reiterate what you said? Just for clarification.
Big Slim, I think we go down to send you on this. But Karen, thanks a million, Karen. I do appreciate you taking the time off to be here. And I want to wish you safe travels tomorrow. And
Thank you.
Next time you're here, certainly give me a shout so we can do this again.
Yes. Well, I'm here a month or two a year.
Okay,
so
no problem. So next time you're here, you know how to get in touch with me. Just give me a shout.
Thank you.
So thanks a lot to Karen Mann, psychotherapist, and clearly those of you who listen, it is clear that Karen knows her business.